that feeling when the 19-year-old kid who looks like he was bitten by the Zoomer Wojak Dracula with the nickname Big Balls gets jumped by two 15-year-olds, and then his daddy whines on the internet and sparks a reaction of the U.S. Capitol getting put into lockdown because the president doesn't like it when people ask whether or not he's mentioned in the files of people who are child predators. Hey folks, my nickname is Large Nuts, and I am in a constant state of collecting my marbles. So DC is under the occupation of the National Guard, which is famously a type of event that gets people who don't want their civil rights trampled on, beaten and murdered. And like I said, it's because this doofus got jumped. Yes, his nickname is Big Balls. He also got fired from an internship for reportedly leaking information about the company to a competitor. And he has also taken up space in sketchy cybercrime communities known as The Calm. And he's done all sorts of questionable and alarming things. Perfect guy to hire to make the government less corrupt. What a wonderful young man this is. It is funny that he was the catalyst and that Republicans have to glaze him right now because he is one of the most unlikable people. The only person who would ever even try to touch this nepo baby cybercrime dweeb with a 10-foot pole is Elon Musk. Especially now that everyone is jumpy with this Elon and Trump falling out situation. So what is happening is a DC police takeover. This is a classic police state simulation. We have reached the let's see your papers portion of Trump's presidency. He's calling this Liberation Day. Donald Trump, you can't fucking do that. Come on now. You can't just recycle day names. So what, when you shit the bed with the tariffs, that was also Liberation Day? Come the fuck on, dude. What is wrong with you? What, is every day that you just so happen to do something going to also be called Liberation Day? Jesus Christ, I used to think that this guy was like at least a little creative. I bet the dementia is creeping up on him and he forgot all about a couple months ago. Consume. Look at this.
How y'all doing today? Stay in that trouble? All right, cool. You got your ID on you, Chip?
Well, no, I live right here.
Okay, cool.
It's a cigarette. Did y'all get a call or something about right here?
No, so we're doing checks, keep everybody safe down here, right?
Yeah, these people are just hanging out by their front door and they're getting harassed. So it is not good when the military is acting inwards and are terrorizing its own people. It is very easy to find examples of this going wrong. It is very easy to find examples of dictators doing this. What's an example? Oh, I don't know. How about America? Remember way back when the king used to do this shit? Remember how this stuff was literally the reason why the Second Amendment was created? I don't know. Seems like tyrannical is a word you could use to describe this. There's also a huge crackdown on homelessness amongst all of this. I'm sure that it's all a part of this administration's plan to make being homeless illegal and punishable by forced institutionalization and prison time. Of course, the best thing to do right now is to stand against this, protect your neighbors, both immigrant and homeless, and to not retreat into your homes, because when you are too afraid to leave your house, the tyrannical military has officially won. Be outside. Peacefully exercise your right to take up as much space as possible and organize, just like they did in LA. And I know that I just said to be peaceful, but you want to know who will not let the federal goons win? Subway Sandwich Man. Subway Sandwich Man is holding it down.
You busy?
Motherfucker! Oh! Federal assault charges. I'll say it. I made a snap judgment. With this outfit, I thought he was a golfer. I thought he just stepped off a yacht. I thought he would be helping the National Guard and DC Police, to be quite honest with you. But no, free my boy. And he threw a sandwich, dude. What kind of bunk-ass police force is this? What are you gonna say, that you were menaced and harmed by a Subway sandwich? Oh no, the Italian BMT was way too spicy. Like, yeah, nobody likes getting pelted with a sandwich, but like what? Are you gonna say that getting pelted with a sandwich threatened your safety? You can, only if you're allergic to bell peppers or something. Come on now. You wanna know the craziest thing about this? This guy is DOJ. He is a Department of Justice employee, or I guess, you know, he was. He obviously got fired. That's a sandwich you can't return. Just yet another sign that this government is imploding. And like, look, I'm not denying that DC is a rough place. It's a city. Cities experience crime, and DC is not an exception to that just because it's the nation's capital. Violent crime very much does exist there, but DC has recently seen the lowest rate in violent crime within the last 30 years. Arguing against this is just insanity. But it's interesting to see people combat this by essentially saying, nuh-uh, in line with what we all expect. But this is all for show. Just like everything about this administration. Just like in LA, when the National Guard was sicked on protesters, nobody knows what to do. There's just an air of confusion amongst the whole thing, and you could see it in their eyes. DEA is there, FBI is there, National Guard is there, the Washington, D.C. police, of course. Nobody knows what the fuck they're supposed to do. That is your tell that they're just doing this to terrorize homeless people, harass citizens minding their own business, and stand around looking intimidating whilst wasting a fuck ton of money and resources. Trump wants this to go beyond 30 days. No way in hell that is happening. Give it like 1 week and then all of these deployed units are gonna be openly saying, what the hell are we doing here? Let's leave. Just like in LA. This is what they thrive on. They want huge spectacle that everyone focuses in on one at a time so they can fly under the radar doing all sorts of ghoulish shit and, you know, have people ask less questions about their friendship with a pedophile. Everyone wants transparency on the Epstein files. Everyone. And Trump has been looking so bad recently. Like, oh my God. Like, if there's anything that is going to ignite an internal takeover, it's going to be stuff like economic stuff, like the horrible decisions he's been making with tariffs, the health stuff, like his mental health clearly deteriorating, his gross ankles, and, you know, his bruised hands. The businessman president, the art of the deal guy, he can't shake hands anymore. Shaking hands puts him in pain. I think that old Spot lost his appetite. I think we gotta call the vet and tell the kiddos that Spot is gonna go happily live on a farm. I'm an internet comedian. Anyways, with all this happening, Trump is grasping at straws to try to get a hold of the narrative once again. How he is likely to go through on creating spectacle and grasping onto the narrative is to follow through on his threatening to sick the National Guard on other large cities. You know, New York, Chicago, Detroit. New York is probably a given. It's just too good of an opportunity for Trump to disrupt Zoran and poison some wells if he wins the mayoral election. One at a time. Once they're like fully out of other cities. But not all at once. To be frank, he can't do that. And I don't mean like morally or anything. Like, it's physically impossible to copy and paste what is happening in DC to every other city in the US all simultaneously. This administration is exploding from the inside out, which is very common in fascistic governments. They don't have the coordination or manpower to do a full takeover, so they position themselves to seem capable of it. And that it's on the to-do list. And it very well might get to that point, but no, not right now. It's the same thing with the mass deportation push. Trump never had the resources to conduct the mass deportation that he promised his voters. So what's the next best thing? ICE agents snatching people off the streets. Chaotic events that ignite national headlines. This stuff makes people afraid. It satisfies MAGA goons. It's cost effective. It allows him to continue scapegoating immigrants. It's just the playbook right now. And yes, all of this is absolutely terrifying, but please do not lose hope, my friends. I've seen so many people apply this doomerous attitude of, we're so fucked, it's time to give up. Like big content creators who are like, there's nothing else we can do. Aha, this is endgame, the world is ending. Oh, by the way, follow my channel to get some sick content updates about how the world is ending. Don't listen to all of that. And if you do, like, why don't you hand your belongings to the feds while you're at it? Stop. Stop doing that. You are legitimizing their facade of dominance. Oh yeah, another thing that you're doing is distracting folks from realizing that this is a distraction. Talk about Epstein some more. It truly is crazy that Trump is going this far to get people distracted. It makes him look 1,000 times guiltier. Like he might as well be screaming, I miss my buddy Epstein, and secretly eating roasted children for dinner with all of my wealthy friends from the roof of the White House. Like, good God. I truly wonder if this is all just a part of him preparing for a potential Maxwell pardon. Because, like, he is doing so much. That's pretty much all I got. I got a Patreon. I do some exclusive content over there. Check it out. Speaking of which, shout out to my patrons. Thank you so very much. I will see you all next time. Bump to the